Video is a very powerful medium, and it has historically been very powerful. But now add AI to video and it becomes even more powerful. Now think of using AI to produce unique video content at scale, meaning you can take snippets, you can take little actions that you've done, and you could blow that up and create all these unique videos about yourself. Now that's a whole different medium altogether. And so that's what we're going to be talking about today. AI augmented video production. I've invited Brian Randall, a co-owner of VidVictory, a Salt Lake City based video production company, to talk about the use of video and marketing. But more specifically, I have just been so impressed by the work that they've done at VidVictory with this AI augmented video and how companies can leverage that I invited him on the show to give us a little demo of that technology and walk us through the capabilities, use cases, and also how you as a business owner might be able to use it. And the thing is, it's not expensive, it's not inexpensive. I would say it can fit very well within your marketing budget if you know what you're doing and you have a specific plan for how you want to use it. So that's the reason why I invited him here. Brian Randall is one of the founders of VidVictory. He's been making movies since he was 8 years old, which is just a couple of years ago. When you see him on camera, you'll realize, it's just a couple of years ago. He graduated with a degree in film from UVU in 2010. Since then, he's worked on a wide variety of projects, earning awards ranging from audience choice at festivals to best of state. So he knows what he's doing. Last year, he started on the path of AI augmented video production and has been loving the chance to be on the cutting edge of video use. And every time I've seen his demo and seen stuff on his website, like I said earlier, I'm just so impressed. I think it's a great technology and business owners need to see it, be aware of it. So let's learn more about AI augmented video production and how you might be able to use it for your marketing. Welcome to the latest episode of Corner Your Market podcast. I'm glad you're here. On this podcast, I talk about everything related to digital marketing, from website design and development to SEO, PPC, email marketing, social media, analytics, and everything in between. So if you're a small business owner, a marketing manager in a company, or an entrepreneur, and you want to get yourself up to speed on digital marketing related topics, this is the place for you. So like and share my videos, subscribe to my videos, and every other week you'll be receiving fresh new content that will help you grow your business by helping you improve your digital marketing. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe. Welcome, Brian. Thanks for being on the podcast. I really appreciate you taking the time to be here. Did I miss anything on your background? I mean, you've done video is your life.
Yeah, that's been me since, I was 8 years old. I saw a show on stage probably shortly before that, and I was like, okay, this is sort of where I want to be. Okay. And then I had a friend who we would make videos together when I was that young. And
what were you using making videos back then?
If you've seen Back to the Future, the camera that Doc Brown uses, like my parents literally had that same model of camera.
Did they really?
Oh yeah, and that was my first camera.
Interesting.
That I would use.
So when you went to UVU, I mean, you basically studied film, just how to shoot and all that kind of stuff, equipment and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, so it's a film degree in the true sense, right?
Okay.
Like and so honestly, film school is less important in a lot of ways than people may think, except that you make connections, right? And it gives you a lot of ideas, and it gives you a springboard in a lot of ways that you may not otherwise get it. Yeah. Right? But I had a great experience there. And digital cinema was the actual degree name.
Digital cinema. Okay, interesting. Yeah. Okay, very cool. And so in that sense then, and then you just started out making videos for companies or movie. Have you made a movie? I'm just curious.
I haven't done a full feature film. We did a TV episode pilot. I've done a bunch of 30-minute-ish projects over the years. Feature is something I'm working towards.
Okay, interesting.
I've produced, there's one particular piece, it's called Phoenix Inc. It's something I produced. It was kind of an indie thing. And we've got 5 45-minute episodes. Okay. It's like I've produced as much content as a feature film, just not specifically.
Not specifically as a feature film. That's kind of interesting. So, I mean, kind of diving into a little bit on what I said in the intro there about AI augmented video. Companies have used video for lots of reasons, right? I mean, brand storytelling, product highlights, showcasing their facilities, whatever they have you. How is AI augmented different in terms of what you guys are doing?
What I love about it is it's essentially no different.
Okay.
It's somewhat limited. That's what I would say, is there are a handful of things that it really can't do yet.
Okay.
For example, it can't have two people on screen at the same time talking to each other.
Oh, it can't. Okay.
It can't do that yet. And here's the reason, is because the AI models don't understand. If you play video games, characters have what's called an idle.
Okay.
Right? Where if you just stop and stand there, your character will kind of move around. A lot of times they have like silly actions they do, but that's like what they do when they don't have anything to do.
Like an idle state.
An idle state, right?
Okay, got it.
The avatars don't have that. So if you don't give them something to say and just tell them to pause, they're going to still physically act like they're talking, but they won't.
But they won't be saying
anything. And it's real awkward.
Yeah.
And so, there are things like that you can't do yet. But when it comes to talking head type video, there's essentially no difference. In fact, most of the videos that we produce for people are exactly the same video we would have produced if we had filmed that person in our studio.
Interesting.
They just didn't have to come in.
So walk us through that process then, because I also mentioned the word at scale, because some of the things that I have really liked about and we'll show you guys a sample of what he's talking about in a little bit. So, but I just want to kind of give a background of the stuff, but talk a little bit about the process of what this is and how it goes and how it's beneficial at scale. That's the word that I really like.
It's awesome. And the biggest logjam in video production, the biggest, is getting people in front of camera. Okay. I work in the studio every day, and getting myself in front of camera is a task, right? Yeah. And this eliminates that completely. Because we do have to have a person come in once. They do have to come in the studio. And that's because there's a whole proprietary process we've developed to make sure that their avatar turns out well. Okay. And so it's not just about having a good camera, which we do. It's not just about having good sound, which we do, good lighting, which we do. It's also about a bunch of little things that they have to do so that the avatar will be convincing.
Because we have a certain presence, right, on video. In daily life, we have a presence about ourselves. We have certain mannerisms. We have certain tics, like them or not. We have certain fluctuations in the way in which we say things. Seems like there's a lot there. You're saying just one visit captures that?
Yeah, I mean, you'd be amazed.
Okay. And
we have to usually film, you have to get a straight chunk. You can't edit it together.
Okay, got it.
So you have to get the person talking for, we'd say, about 2.5 minutes.
2.5 minutes.
Although the longer, the better. If you can get up to 3-4 minutes, that's where your avatar gets even better. But at that 2.5 minute mark, it really does get a pretty good idea for how you talk, how you gesture, and there are things that we have you do which aren't always natural for everybody. Like talking with your hands is really important. Right. If you don't talk with your hands and you're just stiff as a board the whole time, it feels very AI. Right. Even if that's how you normally are.
People freeze in front of cameras though. How do you get them to be natural?
So first of all, we spend a little time with them before we film, just kind of getting comfortable, making sure that they don't feel it's like putting kids on Santa's lap. Okay. If you just set a kid on Santa's lap, they freak out 9 times out of 10. But if you kind of let them get to know the person that's being Santa, right? Like we've done Santa photos a couple times where they like let the kids interact a little bit. Yeah. And then it's not a big deal. So it's kind of a similar thing. Like we spend a little time, they get to know us, we get to know them, we tell them the things, and we get comfortable, and then it's not such a big deal. But also when they understand that none of the words they say are actually going to be used. Right. And so they can talk about whatever they want.
So do you get them to talk about their most passionate things? Because that's what right. So
yeah. So we had one guy that came in and we were kind of struggling to find what he should talk about. And then he's like, "Can I tell you guys all about wine?"
Wine, okay.
And we were like, you know what? Neither of us drink, but yeah, tell us all about the wine. And he described the whole process of how like wine is made, and he just lit right up. Because that was something his goal after retirement is to open a winery. So he has studied this to the depths.
Interesting.
We had another guy that came in and he talked. He was real awkward, and we weren't totally sure what to do. It was his early days, right? We hadn't learned a lot of our process yet, but we had the presence of mind to say, "Hey, didn't you just get a new car?" Mm-hmm. And then we started recording, and he just lit the place up. He talked about all the modifications he'd made and the color and how he felt when he was driving it, and all that awkwardness melted away.
And then you capture that on video, right? So that gives you like a 2.5 minute, maybe 3 minute sample of that person. And then you put that into your AI engine. Is that what it is?
Yep.
And then you can feed whatever copy you want that person to say into the AI engine, and then the avatar starts to speak like you. That's quite amazing.
It's really cool. The biggest thing I think that people don't understand, this is kind of behind the curtain stuff as far as what people see, is we actually spend a lot of time shaping the words.
Okay.
So we've put it in there and it comes out sounding very robotic and AI, and it's not very good, right? Oh. It's just very flat and monotone. And so we have to go through and add emphasis and we have to change the punctuation so that it speaks it the way that they would speak it.
You still have to do that manually?
Yeah.
Oh, really? Okay.
Because there are some avatars that actually come out pretty good right out of the gate. But I would say more than half of the avatars that we film, they still need a little, the AI just needs a little help understanding how to phrase and so forth. And so, yeah, there's a little time, not a ton, but there's a little time that goes into that of just shaping it. And there are times, we had a guy, he was selling an omega-3 fatty acid called lysophosphatidylcholine.
Oh, wow, that's a mouthful.
Trying to get it to say that and say it consistently was really difficult. And so it would say lysophosphatidylcholine or choline. That was choline, but it had to be choline, right?
So that brings up a good question on pronouncing different things that you. So when you write your content that you want your avatar to say, do you have to keep that in mind then?
No, so far we've been able to overcome any challenge. Sometimes we have to write phonetically, sometimes. And nowadays there's actually a feature where we can speak directly to the AI and it will be able to just take the way we're saying it and lay the other person's voice on it, if that makes sense.
I have a little bit of experience with that because Google has this Google transliteration tool.
Okay.
Which if, it's not relevant for people that don't have multiple languages, because I like to type certain things to my family in Nepal in Nepalese. Yeah. But typing in a Nepali keyboard I never learned. So I can't really type in a Nepalese keyboard, but Google has this tool called Google Transliterate where you can basically phonetically type it out in English.
Whoa.
And then it basically turns it into Nepali script.
Interesting.
It's very powerful. And they've had it it's been around for 8-9 years.
Yeah, so I've heard of it.
It sounds very similar to that because you have to type things in. Like I will type it in the way I think it sounds, but then when I read it in the Nepalese language, it doesn't sound right. So I have to go back and I have to kind of, use the accent and the font intonations that the language uses to get it correct, right?
Yeah.
Because some people are going to read that on the other end and go, "What is he talking about here?"
Yeah, very much so. Yeah, we have to do that. We had that same client actually. He was making personalized videos.
Okay.
So he was sending out, I don't know, I think about 100 video brochures, and he wanted each video brochure to be tailored so that when that person opened it, it would say, "Hi, Dr. So-and-so. It's so great to see you again. It's been a long time since we worked together. Hope your clinic such and such is doing well."
Okay.
Right? Every one of them had a personalized opening. Well, and you may appreciate this, the majority of those doctors in the area he was in were from India and the regions over there, and so their last names were
very difficult to say.
Not what the AI first jumped to.
I was gonna say, yeah.
And so we had to go through and like tweak it so that it said the name correctly.
Well, I mean, even like Siri, I mean, when you say a name, if you have somebody's name in your contact folder, that's not, and you say call so and so, it says, did you mean so and so? You know, it's like, no, come on, man. I mean, you should know. I call this person every day,
all the time.
You know, so,
yeah.
So
yeah, pronunciation so far has not been a problem, but it does sometimes require some work.
How about the setup? Like, so does the avatar, can you get them in different clothes? Can you get them with a different haircut? Can you get my gray out?
You know what? We get a lot of questions about that. And the truth is you're going to look the way you look.
Okay. Oh, the way you were recorded that day?
The way you recorded that day, that's how you're going to look. People ask us, well, can you make me taller, skinnier, more hair, less hair? And we always say,
for me, it's just the hair, man. The dude, can you just fix the hair just so I can look 10 years younger?
And we always say, what's your budget?
Oh, okay. Got it.
You saw what they did with Captain America. With enough money, you can do anything. But no, practically speaking, you're going to look the way you look when you come in. And technically, the capability exists to change the clothes after the fact.
Okay. That sounds hard. That sounds hard.
It's not hard. It just doesn't look good.
Okay, got it.
Because you'll have the person who's lit one way and the clothes are lit completely differently.
Right.
And it's not... People will instantly know. It'll look more like an Instagram filter than a real change of clothes. Right.
So do you recommend people do maybe 5 or 10 men recording, change shirts or something like that? And
what we're doing is we typically with our new setup, because we just have been adjusting the model recently to make more sense for what people need. And we've discovered most people want to have a couple avatars.
Okay.
And so depending on what you want to do price-wise, we can do 2 to 3.
Okay.
And then we can do as many as you want, but most people don't need more than that.
Okay, got it.
And so, we had one client, and he wanted to have a suit in this one, and just a jacket, no tie in this one. And then we actually did a Santa one for him.
Oh, really?
Which we haven't used yet, but that'll happen this Christmas because he's one of our regulars.
Interesting.
And so,
And then are they, so obviously, can you make them sit down, walk around? You can make them do that? Okay.
Yes. The walking is one we don't do a lot with because every time you walk, you're going to walk the same loop.
Oh, okay. Got
right?
It sounds like it looks like AI now.
And it's it's a 3-minute loop, so it may not look like AI, but it means that every video you make, theoretically, you're going to be walking that same exact path.
Yeah.
And so every video is going to look the same. What we tend to do for the most part is we film people on a green screen.
Okay.
And that way we can change out the background.
Oh, okay.
Seasonally, or if they get a new location, or if they don't have a location and they want to be on the beach this week and this week,
Right. Well, I forgot to. We should show we should show these videos to people, right? So
I've got one here.
People are probably thinking, I really want to see this thing, So.
Yeah, let's go ahead. This is a really good, simple example. Come on.
Oh, okay. So this is the gentleman so he has a suit on, right? So, or a jacket on.
This isn't that particular client, but this is
some of the myths.
This is a loan officer.
And give you an example of how a reverse helped a fellow senior make ends meet and stay in the home they loved. At its core, a reverse is a loan that allows homeowners, typically age 62 or older, to convert part of their home's equity into cash without monthly payments. You continue to live in your home and keep the title in your name, but have access to extra cash to use however you see fit. The loan is repaid when the home is eventually...
So on these ones then, so the background, you put those, you can put different background shots away while he's talking.
Yes.
Right? And then different text overlays, things like that. Okay.
Just like any other video we make, we don't typically want to linger on a person who's just a talking head.
Right.
We want to switch it up, keep it interesting.
Yeah. Okay, so that's a good example. Yeah. So basically, you have the avatar in there, and then when you do the production, you can swap out the avatar. You can put the background video different, messaging different, and things like that. Did you have another one?
Exactly.
Yeah.
I've got a couple different ones that we can look at, or we can space them out. But let's see.
Yeah.
I think one of the other good ones to look at is this one. And then I actually have a multilingual one, which we'll look at later on. So this is actually our AI attorney. He wanted to, since he's doing AI law, he wanted to be an AI avatar.
Okay. Okay, interesting.
We are at a pivotal point in the regulation of AI and have an opportunity to create a foundation upon which we can build an environment that leverages the transformative effects of AI. Together, we can create an environment of experimentation and entrepreneurship and establish sound rules for its safe, effective, and fair use. We have an opportunity to act now to establish this foundation. In order to be most effective, we need a coordinated effort among policymakers, academia.
So we'll pause it there, but that's a pretty good look at a use case. He just, this is his world that he lives in, and we've made a bunch of videos for him since.
So basically he says, okay, Brian, I've got this new, new thing that I want to send out to this other, let's say, digital marketing conference, and I want to send them a video. This is what I want to say. He sends it over to you. You put that into the engine. You've got the avatar already, and then it just basically produces a whole new video, just like the one we saw, but completely different for that new content piece that he just sent.
Exactly. Okay. And we still put in the B-roll. We still put in the text, right? We're at a place where AI can theoretically do that, but if you watch videos where AI does everything,
you can tell that it's AI.
It's even if they're technically doing a good job, like even if the B-roll does kind of match what they're talking about, there's not the same emotional impact.
Okay,
right?
Got it.
You're not really getting the true benefit of video.
So you still need some human intervention there.
Exactly.
The creativity and things like that. So let's talk a little bit about use cases then for our audience. I mean, our audience are obviously business owners, and they're wanting to leverage this technology for, how do you see, what are some ideas for them to consider? Like, what are some things that they could use this for?
Yeah, a handful of really good ones that we've had recently. I mean, you've got announcements when you've got something big that's happened for your company, whether that's you won an award or, some of the really cool thing that's just happened. You just got a new certification. Great. Get that out there. Website videos. And this works well, especially if you want regular video from like your CEO. Getting a CEO to come and record is you just can't schedule it. It's difficult, right? And so if we can get the CEO in for a 45-minute session, that's all it takes. Typically from start to finish.
4 to 5 minute session.
45.
45, okay.
So they come in the studio, we talk them through the process, fill out the paperwork. That's just like legal paperwork, nothing fancy. And then we have to record them on that 2 to 3 minute loop, right? And usually we have to do that a couple times.
So he never has to come back again.
And he doesn't have to come back.
Okay.
Right? So for a super busy CEO, this can be a great example. One of our guys that we're actually doing a new video for right now, he owns 2 businesses. He doesn't like to be in front of camera, but also he doesn't have time to be in front of camera. We got him in the office the one time, and now we produced 2 TV spots for him, and we're working on a 3rd.
Right. Wow.
And not only does he not have to come back, but he didn't have to deliver it.
Right.
Because that's the other piece, is you get these busy CEOs and, you can have them read off a teleprompter. Yeah. Maybe it'll be good.
How does Google, like, I'm thinking more like for marketing, even for like a company that has a lot of blog posts, right?
Yes.
So they've written all these blog posts over the years and they want to convert that to video. Now that's a very daunting task, but if we can maybe get a sample avatar for them, and then maybe we take out the 10, 15 blog posts that have really done well over the years, and then we just feed that to the AI engine, then boom, you got a video for that blog post, right?
That's literally another one of our offerings. Yeah. Okay. It's blog to video.
Blog to video. Okay.
Which is amazing. And typically we don't.
Man, I got to do that, Brian.
I mean, let's talk. It's so great, right? Because it's something you can share so much more easily. People don't like to read anymore.
No, they don't read.
The big function of a blog, honestly, is discoverability. Exactly. Right? A lot of the time. So it's still important to blog.
Yeah.
And there will be people who will read it, but there are so many people who, if they can watch a video to get the information, they will.
I'm shocked at some of these reports I'm reading about how graduate students and undergraduate students at elite universities have not read have not sat down and read a book from cover to cover.
Wow. I believe it.
I mean, the freshman and sophomore classes right now, I just saw this on Twitter. I mean, so take it for what it's worth. I'm not trying to spread any misinformation to anybody. So, but what I'm saying is that you're right. People don't like to read anymore. Everything is visual, right? So you have to figure out a way to get your content to be visual. And this is a great way to do that. And then, so in terms of your offering then, so you come in once, you do that, and then any ongoing engagement, you just have a flat fee or a monthly subscription or something like that?
Exactly. We have, little bundles where you can buy and say, hey, you know what, I know I'm going to want 5 videos a month, or I'm going to want, we have a few different package options.
Okay.
So based on what somebody needs, because some people need short form content for social media. Some people need YouTube videos and LinkedIn thought leadership posts. And some people have these long trainings and things that they want to convert. And we actually have a whole separate pricing structure for that.
Yeah.
Because usually they'll give us a PDF of their presentation, and that makes our life a whole lot easier.
So how does this is so fascinating, because how does this play into the legality of it? Like, I guess since you wrote it, you technically said that, right? So it's your stuff. Right. So, yeah, I'm curious.
So a couple of things. Number one, I look at it very much the same as if somebody came in and said this with a teleprompter.
Oh,
right?
Okay, got it.
Because they wrote the content, and we won't produce it without their written consent.
Okay.
That says, yeah, go ahead. Right. That's really important to us. We don't want to be producing anything in secret.
Because you have my avatar now.
Right.
So you could put anything to my mouth and put it on the website and call me a neo-Nazi or something like that.
So this is another really important piece, actually. This is part of the reason we use the service that we do. They won't allow hate speech.
Okay.
They won't allow political speech. Okay. Like, we actually had a guy who wanted to run for local office. And, a small-time office, not even like
a county commissioner tax office in Dane County somewhere.
Something pretty
Davis
small.
County.
And we ran his script through. We told him ahead of time. We said, look, it doesn't like political stuff. Send us your script and we'll see before we charge anything. And it rejected it instantly. And it was a very middle of the road, like, it was not inflammatory, but it was political in nature.
Interesting. Healthcare for all.
You really can't get away with much. We did a video for a politician, but it was all very just like educational.
Okay.
It wasn't, I am so-and-so and I approve this message, So anyway, so you can't do hate speech, politics, even like rough language.
Oh, really?
It will block. If you're doing something of a sexual nature, they will manually look it over to see if it's like sex education versus just crass content, right? They are very...
Wow. So you can't be producing OnlyFans videos or anything like that?
Right. And I can't make you, like, even if I decided to go rogue, I can't make you say a bunch of hateful things.
Okay, got it.
I love that.
Okay, that's wonderful.
But there's also a consent piece, and this is really important as well. Somebody comes in, and this is part of our initial 45 minutes. We film it, then while Tom will chat with them and kind of talk to them about next steps. I'll go and make the avatar, upload it to the server, and then we have to have them come and give their consent. I have to do a video and audio recording of their face and voice, and there's a security code unique to each session.
Okay.
And so if you wanted to there are ways that you can do deep fakes of politicians and stuff. This isn't one of them.
Okay, got it.
And even it's serious enough that we actually had, I don't know if you know who Thurl Bailey is. He's a former jazz player. He's a really well-liked personality locally, and he does sports stuff. Anyway, so we had him come in. And he did the consent piece, and then he left. And the server was like, oops, celebrity face detected. We can't make this avatar.
Really?
And we had to get on with support and be like, hey, this is him. He came in. We have his permission. And like, we had to spend some time with the customer support team to get that approved. Like, that's how seriously. They understand the dangers of what they do.
Yeah.
And they have taken, I think, very excellent steps to preventing misuse.
That's comforting to know, because I'm more of an optimist. I'm like, even when the internet came out, this is such a beautiful thing. Now I'm like, wait a minute, this could be really evil. So I'm very like, this. When I saw your guys' demo last couple of months ago, or whenever I saw it, I was like, this is so cool. I could see so many. I was only thinking positive, and then as I was thinking over the last couple of days, I was like, man, this could really be misused.
Yeah.
You guys now have my avatar. You guys now have my consent to use it. I don't know which server it's being served on. Is it being used in China? Is China now using my face for detecting me? Because I'm flying through China next month,
And actually, that's another important thing is there's a box that we can check or uncheck that's like, I give, HeyGen is the company. I give HeyGen permission to use my avatar as a training model.
Oh, okay.
Right. And we don't give that permission. So the service isn't even using your avatar. Like, we don't use it, any at all without your consent, and neither do they.
Okay, got it.
Which I really dig. Yeah. Like, for example, we made a promotional video for us using a bunch of the avatars. We got the written consent of each of them.
Okay.
We sent them the script. We said, hey, you might say a portion of this script. Is that okay with you? And every one of them said yes, except one guy, he didn't answer, so we didn't use his avatar.
Okay, that's good to know.
Yeah.
Well, I like the boundaries that you have placed in there. I think the potential is really high for people. Now, does YouTube give you a negative? Is there like any indication? You know how they don't like AI-generated blog posts? Do they like AI-generated video?
So, a couple of things about that. Number one is currently YouTube, you self-select whether you want to identify that the content is AI produced.
Okay, got it.
That's on the back end. And it's not really dinging people currently.
Okay.
But the other great thing is our videos are very unlikely to be detected by AI detectors.
Okay.
Because it doesn't look like AI.
That's the whole point of AI.
Exactly. And we use sufficient B-roll and all these other pieces so that what you put out there just feels like a nicely produced video. Because that's where, in my opinion, that's where AI video really falls flat right now. Mm-hmm. Right now, most AI video is like, oh, look, puppies who are astronauts. It's really fun, but nobody's fooled.
Yeah,
Right?
Yeah.
And our purpose isn't to fool people. Our purpose is just to make good videos that don't ring off, don't set the AI alarm ringing.
Yeah.
So that people can just pay attention to the content.
Interesting.
And that's what it's all about.
So if you self-select and say it's AI video, what does that do to you on YouTube?
Currently nothing.
Okay.
I foresee, and I'm surprised that hasn't happened yet. Anytime now, I think the hammer's going to drop, where it's going to be every video has to identify whether it's AI or not.
Got it.
Like currently, you can just not select an option. But I like I said, anytime I think it's going to be where you have to say yes or no.
And obviously, in your case, we would have to say AI, right, when we upload it.
I think we would choose to because again, our goal is not deception.
Yeah.
However, you're going to have to tick that box no matter how much of your video is AI produced.
I was going to say, I mean, that's a very vague term now, right?
Yeah.
Even if a lot of stuff might be AI, but the content is original, right?
Exactly.
It's not like, you're just saving labor. So I think they're going to try to, Google's not stupid on these things,
Right.
So they're going to kind of figure that out a little bit. So
yeah, I'm optimistic about the approach I'm glad that early on they added the thing about self-selecting whether you're like, that said good things to me.
Yeah.
That they were already starting the process of preparing their creators to do that.
To do that. So that's kind of cool. And so I'm assuming any company can use this, right? So how do they get a hold of you? I mean, how do they get a hold of you? Where do they go to learn more about you and all that kind of stuff?
Yeah. So our website is vidvictory.com. vidvictory.com/AI will take you directly to our AI page. You can see lots of examples. Contact info. I'd love it if you want to add me on LinkedIn, Brian Randall, or you can email me, brian@vidvictory.com. We don't make it hard.
Yeah. And I'll drop all these in my show notes too.
Awesome,
So everybody, so if you didn't catch that as you're watching or listening, go to the podcast page and then you'll see the show notes and then you can just kind of follow there to learn more about VidVictory. So wow, this really was helpful, Brian. Thank you so much for educating us on this. I really enjoyed learning about it. I mean, I had learned, but I feel like every time I sit down with you or Tom, Tom's your business partner, right?
Yeah.
So every time I sit down with you guys, I always learn a lot about this technology, and I am excited to see how I might be able to use it in the future. Because I mean, from what Tom told me, to be honest with you, the first time you guys showed it in that demo, I was like, wow, I don't know if I have the budget for this. But now when I was talking to him, I was like, oh, I think I could work that into my marketing budget for the next 6-8 months. Let's see how we can do. So it's really not unreasonable is what I'm trying to say. If you're going to do any kind of marketing, it's going to cost money. And this is just like spending money on anything else. You know what I mean? So I think if you're a business owner and you've got a lot of content, like I said, you've been working with us maybe and doing blogs over the last 5-6 years, and you want to convert all of that into videos, Brian's product would be a great way to do that, you know. So show up, you know. Although a lot of my clients are national, so they might have to fly into Salt Lake City to your studio.
And we've done that.
You know,
we've done that.
So we'll do that. So, all right. Well, thank you, Brian, for taking the time to be on my podcast. I really appreciate it. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this episode if this has been very useful for you. And drop me a line. Let me know if there's anything that you'd like to ask Brian. I can also forward that on to him as well. Or if you have any feedback or comments on the podcast episode, let me know. Otherwise, we'll catch you guys all later. Thanks.